Hey, what's up, everybody? So, I had a video this morning that I posted out talking about the 5 powers of the ways to influence people when it comes to leadership, and had a couple of questions in regards to that. And it was more towards the aspect of, oh, that's great, Tim, but really, why or how do I even use this, or why do I even need to use it? And so I wanted to answer a couple of those questions, and I wanted to try to talk to you guys about some of that stuff and dig a little bit deeper. But if you want to know what the 5 are, I'll give them to you real quick. It's real simple. There's 2 of them that are for pretty much manipulation. They can be used bad, but it's reward or it's punishment. Those are the first 2. Then you've got position, which is a title, and then you've got your expertise, or you've got what most people call charisma, or what some people call your woo, the ability to people like you. So those are the 5. But here's the reason why it's so important, is because once you know, and once you understand the ways that it takes, or what it does to be able to have the influence or the power to be able to motivate individuals, you can then take those things and apply them to your lives as a leader and make yourself a better leader. There's obviously lots of examples of different leaders throughout the world. We talked in the previous video about Hitler and how he was, frankly, he was a great leader. Was he a good leader? Absolutely not. He was pretty much the worst that you could have. And you can go down through history and you can see many of the dictators and see some of those that have sacrificed much, but they used a lot of the punishment type methods, or they used the reward type methods. And then once they got that position, they were able to influence people based off of position. So let's take Hitler, for example. If you didn't fall in line with the way that he did things, he frankly just killed you. And you can find that in history. I mean, that was your punishment, is you either got sent to a concentration camp, or you lost your position, you lost your possessions, you lost your livelihood, you lost a lot of different things. But that was just a great example of how to not use your reward or your punishment or even the position as a way to influence people. Now, good examples are those that ended up using their positions, but more so their expertise of who they were. So let's take, for example, somebody like George Washington. George Washington used his position and the ability, the fact that everybody liked him, to be able to influence a nation, and to be able to take that nation into something where it was a young nation. The amazing thing about George Washington is the fact that he actually refused to become king. They offered him the kingship and he just flat out returned it. So there was a lot of humility in his life, and he used a lot of his power to influence people for the right ways. We can go down through a lot of American history. You can see a lot of different leaders that were there who, through their humility and through some of the things that they had the character to be able to be a great leader, and they had the character to be able to influence people for what was great. Again, you can go through and you can look at a lot of different corporate leaders. There's some people, if you look at Jim Collins' book, Good to Great, there are a slew of leaders in there that use their either position or their expertise or even their ability to be liked as a way to be able to influence others. So the reason behind this and why this is so important is that if you're going to run any type of a large company, if you have any type of employees, it's really, really important to understand how to be able to motivate them, and to be able to motivate them in the right ways. Because if you're not, then what you're doing is you're manipulating them. You're not influencing them, you're frankly manipulating them. And people don't like being manipulated. They're going to run away from you. You're not going to be able to create a great culture. You're not going to be able to have people following you for any length of time. They're only going to follow you to the point of they get what they want out of the things, and then they're just going to leave you. I know a couple of different people. I was listening to another podcast, and I use Tony Grubmeyer's podcast with Scott Love about creating, or why will they follow you. I think Scott Love was just an incredible guy talking about building the relationships, and he did a lot of recruiting. And that is so true. The fact that these great leaders, and the reason why people don't leave them, is because of the fact that they've built their relationships, and they've been able to maintain that relationship through their position, because obviously they're the leader of the company, they have that title, but because they're also the expert in their field, or because they are liked by the people, they have more influential power, and therefore are a greater leader because of that influential power. So anyway, that's what we've got. I just wanted to share some of that stuff and why it's important. So again, I got to use one more example. Going back to Tony always talks about blind spots, and the fact that whether you know them or if they're there, it's always really good to be able to see that. Now that you know what the influential powers are in leadership, you can use those for your good, and you can use those to be able to influence people for the better. So again, it's just really one of those things that as you learn, you study, you find out more about yourself, and as you apply those things to your life, you then have the ability to influence people for the good, not manipulate them and not force them into situations that they don't really want. All right, so that's enough for now. I'm going to share the rest of my sunset. I'm going to turn black, and then you'll be able to see the sunset. But I'll tell you what, I absolutely love this place, and this is so excited. This is where I get to live and breathe, and love sharing this with you guys. So if you have any questions, again, feel free to hit me up, ask questions. There's tons and tons of examples. If you have any specific things, want to understand a little bit more about your own life or your own business, feel free to hit me up. You can find me either on Facebook or at timcroll.com. A couple moments of silence. I'm going to get out of the picture, just let you enjoy. There you go. Peaceful and relaxing.